Hi, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. I am delighted that you are here joining me. So today is October 22nd, and indeed, Canada has now ended up with a minority liberal government. The NDP are going to be a strong support for the Liberals. So on those two things, I think I came pretty darn close. However, what's the word? In just being transparent. Okay. The Bloc Québécois, absolutely not on my radar. Absolutely not on my radar. Maybe that just has something to do with the fact that I'm from the West, and so I don't tend to think about them. I'm not sure. But they were not on my radar, and they have ended up in third place with the NDP in fourth. So they are going to become a force to be reckoned with. But as I said, the NDP have enough votes that they are going to be able to support and work with the Liberals. So that's a good thing, and Trudeau got his hand slapped in typical Canadian fashion for some of the things that he did or that went on in his government that people were not thrilled about. So there you have it. So we can all take a deep breath, because as I see it energetically, we have managed to push back as a country on politics of fear, politics of hate and divisiveness. And I hope that going forward, the Conservatives will learn a lesson from this. This is not who Canada is, and we do not want to have that kind of politics going on in our elections. So, for those of you who are thrilled that the Liberals got in, yay. And for those of you who are disappointed that the Conservatives did not do better, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're disappointed. But again, I will say, this is Canada. You don't run elections here on hate and divisiveness. It doesn't fly. Okay, so enough of that. Normally I sort of do my videos, and then when it's done, I kind of think about, what I want to call the video. But today's video is going to be called "How Low Can They Go?" And that's kind of what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on Trump and the GOP, and honest to God, how low can they go? I mean, a lynching? Are you flippin' kidding me? How is it that impeaching a man who is as criminal as the day is long, who is as incompetent as the day is long, who is a clear and present danger every single day? How is it, pray tell, that an impeachment inquiry into his behavior has turned into a lynching, a term that even as a Canadian, I understand is not cool. You don't use the phraseology, you don't use the term. It is, that whole era is like a stain on the, United States history. And to use it because he's cranky, because people are actually questioning his behavior, beyond my comprehension. And worse, what the hell is the matter with Lindsey Graham? Like, he should know better. And I sincerely hope that any viewers or that are watching who feel so inclined, do not hesitate to contact his office and just ask him literally, how low will you go? Because I'm sorry, he has now stopped kissing Trudeau's, sorry, Pierre there, guy, Trudeau, Justin, sorry. He has stopped kissing Trump's ass. He is now just licking his feet. Come on. Stand up on those wobbly little knees of yours and, have some damn respect. So I hope that the people who Lindsey Graham represents have a thing or two to say about this. So come on down. Let's take a look. I have a question, and literally my question is this. How low are they going to go? Come on down. Alrighty, here we go. How low will they go? How low will they go? How low will they go? Okay. So the energy around this, what I'm sort of specifically focusing my energy on is Trump and the GOP. So they're pushing back. They're using every trick in the book. They're doing everything that they can do to push the pressure away. There's so much that is still hidden, and there's so much that they're scared is going to come at them, be uncovered, be discovered, be exposed. And they are, so busy trying to juggle, particularly the GOP, trying to juggle that balance between, we're not disloyal to Trump, but sometimes we have to push back because he's doing things that are really, really, the GOP really opposes. So it's this continual balance. And it's unfortunate that somewhere along the way, they didn't figure out that when Trump is confronted by the GOP, he completely capitulates. I don't understand why they haven't figured that out, because what it would mean is that they really wouldn't need to have to defend quite so much of what he does if they had learned to say no to Trump from the beginning. They would not find themselves in this position, but they were so cowed by the fact that he won and, his base was really strong. And then before they knew it, kind of their base had become his base. And so they weren't really GOP Republican anymore. They were more like Trump supporters and Trumpian. They got flat-footed on this when they didn't respond properly. And now they have been playing catch up for almost 3 years. It doesn't look good on them. They look like fools. They look like they don't know the truth anymore. And this is the thing, right? I mean, everybody expects politicians to be a little loosey-goosey with the truth sometimes. And to be fair, most people are a wee little bit loosey-goosey with the truth sometimes. Okay, not to the extent of politicians, but I'm just saying. But they have gotten to a point where they literally, you're not sure that they can actually distinguish truth anymore. It definitely looks as if they will say whatever they can say, and they will mimic the insanity that comes from Trump's mouth. Well, and the bottom line is this, you know what? It's not really going to end up working for them. And they know it. Some of the more rational ones know it. Some of them even recognize that if this continues, at some point they're either going to have to go down with the ship, or they're going to have to, jump and swim, because this is just going downhill. It's not going to be recoverable. They cannot gain the ground that they have lost because they have insulted the intelligence of too many people. They have acted superior as opposed to servants of the people. They have put all their eggs basically in a basket that is not ultimately going to end up serving them. You know, they made the biggest mistake. The original sin with the GOP was that they foolishly thought they could control the guy. You can't control him. He's a complete mercenary. He will do whatever it takes, however it takes, whenever he takes, to get what he wants. And what he wants is money, and what he wants is respect, and what he wants is status. And he has no low. There is not a bottom. There is not a bottom, I promise you, when it comes to Trump. There is virtually no line that he will hesitate to cross. He will sell out anybody that it is advantageous for him to sell out. So they have very little control over him. And that's what's so ironic, because like I said, as soon as they join together and push back, Trump capitulates. But for some reason, they haven't figured out a way to make that work to their advantage. Yeah. So this is the thing, right? One of Trump's best things is to get people really riled up emotionally, right? Because he thinks that plays to his base. What he does not understand is that the lower he goes, the female vote is peeling off. They're peeling away. They're saying, I've had it. I can't take any more. I can't look my kids in the eye. I can't look my grandchildren in the eye. I can't explain away the behavior. Not only of the president, but more and more it's getting, that they're not exactly too thrilled with the people who represent them, be it senators or the other guys, the guys in the House people. Sorry, my brain's a little fuzzy this morning because I have Canadian politics and US politics kind of smushed together. And so I'm losing my words, right? I know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Congress people, but except I'm wanting to use the term member of parliament. So just bear with me, because my brain is just trying to unscramble the two countries and the two distinct political experiences of both country. Okay. But he is losing and they are losing. The female vote, they are getting so angry. This lynching thing has me just riled, because it's like Lindsey Graham, if I'm not mistaken, comes from a state that has a significant Black African American population. What was he thinking? Does he think that those people are going to say, oh yeah, use the word lynching, it's fine. Go ahead, use the word lynching on a perfectly reasonable government practice. It is their obligation to do what they're doing. But sure, let's call that a lynching because Mr. Orange Thin-Skin doesn't like being picked on. What a bunch of fools. So they're going to end up absolutely in the cold. You know what? I know that there are days that it feels it can't get any worse. We're never going to be able to recover from this. You will. You will. Can it get worse? Oh yeah. In a heartbeat, it can get worse because, as I said, there's no bottom. And now, by and large, a significant number of GOPs have especially senators, have really just fallen into line and said, whatever Trump says is the truth and we support it. So they're losing their people as Trump is losing his. Remember, he may still have a really high approval percentage within Republicans, except the Republican base itself, the actual numbers of Republicans in your country, is much lower than it was in 2016 and way, way, way lower than it was in 2012? So they are undergoing a change of fortune, as is Trump. The kings are falling, and the kings, literally are the House leader, the Senate leader, the long established Republicans. They're all going to experience a backlash. Now, not every single one of them, because you still have some incredibly, incredibly red states in the country. But they are going to, when it is all said and done, they're going to see that, wait a minute, we lost a lot of ground with this guy, and actually it's going to be really difficult to make that ground up, to recover. Yeah. Okay. So, the world continues to watch in horror, day by day, action by action, the reputation, the strength, the power of the United States diminishes as more and more people look at this and say it's untenable. This is ridiculous. And this is the thing, right? I think generally speaking, people can excuse to some degree a really screwed up leader. Okay, like they can say, okay, well, Trump is an anomaly, and it was like the perfect storm was created that allowed him to win this thing. But what they cannot tolerate, and what they don't understand, and what is causing that confidence to really shift, is the fact that the GOP, the Republicans, are so quick to lose their own reputations, their own standing, their own sense of truth or honor, to blindly follow this guy. So that's where the trouble comes in, right? Because you have people in other countries looking at this and saying, okay, it's bad enough that they made the deal with the devil, but they're so defensive, they have completely surrendered the truth. And so what has happened is people are looking at that and they're saying, okay, well, so this is the reality. If Trump is in fact an anomaly, how do you explain all of those senators and all of those Republicans in the House who follow him blindly? They are obviously just as corruptible as he is. They are just as corrupt, and they do not stand on their truth. So what this has done is really, really created almost more of a, it's like this. Trump caused a tear, okay? Like a rip. But the GOP's behavior has done this to the cloth. It has just shredded it. And that's not going to be able to get sewn back together with any amount of ease, all right? That's what happens, man, when you sleep with the devil. They're going to walk away. They're going to be disappointed. They're going to be devastated. All of the things that they did to try to maintain and hold are not going to be enough, because they have surrendered themselves so quickly. They fell into line with Trump and his insanity so quickly that they also have lost, their reputations. They're not going to be able to pull this back. They're not. So what you have going on right now energetically is this. Trump is freaking out. He demanded yesterday that the Republicans get more aggressive in fighting the Democrats, because he was being picked on, and it was mean. And so just like good little tin soldiers, out they march today using words like lynching. Not looking so good. There is no low for them. There isn't a bottom, okay? And I guess that's part of what we all have to finally like really, really accept and stop asking the question, because the answer is there is no answer. There is no low. And the more pressure Trump feels, the more erratic he becomes, the more the Mitch McConnells of the world really realize, you know what? He's completely uncontrollable. The guardrails are not holding, and he basically is going to do what he's going to do. And frankly, we're kind of going to let him unless he really, really steps out of line. So in his own crazy way, Trump is actually emboldened a little bit because they push him back on one hand, but with the next hand, he makes a statement like, you go fight harder, and off they go to do his bidding. So he thinks he can get away with pretty much everything and anything. And frankly, the GOP have let him. So look for increased turbulence. Look for Twitter storms. Look for, public ranting and raving and going on and on. Look for members of the GOP to sort of stick their heads back in like a turtle and try to avoid as much as they can, except for a few of them. And that would include Lindsey Graham. More's the pity. Before I sat down to do this reading, just on a quick note, I just saw a blip on television of Putin welcoming Erdogan to Sochi, Russia. Okay, so I probably, as I'm doing this, they actually have finally gotten around to doing their conference, their press conference, so I'm not aware of what they're saying or not saying. But when I saw the two of those men coming together and shaking hands, it is pure dark. They have evil intentions. They are power hungry. Money and position is everything to them. And they will also, there is no low, okay? They will do whatever it takes. They will form whatever alliances it takes to get to their ultimate end, to their goal. And honestly, they are laughing behind their hands at Trump and what a fool he is and how easy he is to manipulate and to mold and to get him singing the tune that they wish. And I don't think that the tune is Yankee Doodle Dandy, okay? I'm pretty sure it's not. All right. So, thank you so much for finding me and joining me and supporting me, subscribing, the likes, the comments. I adore them. Thank you. And we'll see you again soon. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye.